The daycare worker handed me my completely limp baby and said he had a great day. Desmond's head lolled back like a broken doll. He had such a good nap, Miss Valerie said. Slept for 4 hours straight. When I tried to wake him in the car, he wouldn't respond. That's when I noticed dried pink residue around the nipple of his bottle. Panicking, I tasted it and immediately recognized the medicine taste, that fake cherry flavor from children's Benadryl. I went 30 miles over the speed limit the entire way to the emergency room, where the doctor confirmed Desmond had high levels of diphenhydramine in his system. This is dangerous for an infant, he said. How long has he been getting this? I told him I hadn't given him anything and he must have gotten it at daycare. The doctor got quiet and then said something that chilled me. Yours is the third baby from Sunshine Academy I've seen this month with the same thing. He said the other parents had been told their babies were just tired from growth spurts, but now he was seeing a pattern. I went straight back to the daycare and demanded to see the director. Mrs. Ansell took me into her office and closed the door. That's a serious accusation, she said when I showed her the hospital report. Which teacher do you think did this? There were only 2 teachers in the infant room, Miss Valerie, who'd been there 8 years, and Miss Rachel, who always seemed overwhelmed. I don't know who did it, but someone drugged my baby, I said. She looked at the report and said she couldn't take action without proof of which employee was responsible. We have cameras, but I can't show you the footage without a court order, she said. That would violate my employee's privacy rights. I called the other parents from Desmond's room and found out 4 more babies had been unusually drowsy. One mom said her daughter had been so lethargic she'd taken her to 3 different doctors thinking something was seriously wrong. Another dad said he'd complained directly to Miss Valerie about his son sleeping too much, and she told him he should be grateful for the rest. She actually said that parents today don't appreciate when they have an easy baby, he told me. But when I suggested we go to the police together, he got nervous and said he couldn't risk losing his daycare spot because his wife would have to quit her job. The next morning, I hid a camera in Desmond's diaper bag, one of those tiny ones that streams to your phone. I sat in my car in the parking lot watching the feed, and at 10:15, I saw it happen. Miss Valerie pulled a bottle of children's Benadryl from her purse and squirted it into 6 different bottles, including Desmond's. She did it so casually, like it was part of her normal routine, even humming while she swirled each bottle to mix it in. Then Miss Rachel walked in, and Valerie handed her 2 of the drug bottles. Rachel gave them to the babies without questioning it. I had them on video committing a felony, but when I called the police from my car, the officer who answered said I needed to file a report in person. I drove to the station with the video ready on my phone, but the desk sergeant said daycare complaints went through Child Protective Services, not them. I called CPS from the lobby, and they said they'd investigate within 72 hours. 72 hours? I said. They're drugging babies right now. The woman said without immediate danger of life-threatening harm, that was their standard response time. I went back to the daycare and pulled Desmond out of his crib myself. Miss Valerie stood in the doorway and said, "You can't just take him without signing him out." I showed her my phone with the video paused on her holding the Benadryl bottle. Her face went white, and she stepped aside. But as I was buckling Desmond into his car seat, Mrs. Ansell came out and said, if I removed him without proper sign-out, I'd be in violation of my contract and would forfeit my deposit plus owe 3 months of tuition. You're drugging babies and you want to talk about contracts? I said. She smiled this cold smile and said, prove it in court. Until then, you owe us $6,000. She knew exactly what she was doing because she'd done this before. That's when Miss Rachel came outside and whispered something to Mrs. Ansell that made her face change. They both went inside, and I heard shouting but couldn't make out words. That night, Miss Rachel called me from a blocked number. I didn't know what Valerie was doing until today, she said, crying. I need to tell you something about Mrs. Ansell, but not on the phone. We agreed to meet at a coffee shop the next morning, but she never showed up. When I drove by the daycare, there was a sign saying Miss Rachel no longer worked there, and Miss Valerie had been promoted to lead teacher. I posted the video in a local moms group on Facebook, and within an hour it had 300 shares, but then it was deleted, and I was banned from the group. The admin messaged me that they couldn't allow unverified allegations that could harm a local business. That's when I noticed something strange in the video I hadn't seen before. In the background, barely visible, was a third person watching Miss Valerie drug the bottles. Someone in scrubs who didn't work at the daycare. Full story on the channel below.